Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today let's do a quick, fun project. No sewing, but let's make a button ball. What we're going to need are buttons and some kind of a ball. Now we can use a styrofoam ball, but what I will be using is this old Christmas tree decoration ball. It's hard plastic and it has a lot of scratches on it, so I don't want to use it anymore as it is, so I'm going to recycle it into a button ball. Yes, it really is as simple as taking some buttons and gluing them on some kind of a round surface. I will be using a hot glue gun, so I'll share some of my tips on working with a hot glue gun so not to burn your fingers. So the first thing we need to do with these balls is to make sure that they're clean and that the glue is going to stick on them. So you could just take a nail file and just go all over it a little bit just to rough up that surface. Make sure that there isn't anything slippery on there and the glue will just stick better. Once that ball surface is done, I'm going to use a little bowl to put it in so I don't need to chase it around. I am working on a mat, and this mat is a mat that I would use for applique. It's a precision fusing mat and nothing sticks on it, including my hot glue. So a few things that I like using are a pair of tweezers, an old thimble, which I make sure it's taped on my finger. And if you look really close, you can see it is covered with glue. And that's what I use to push things down so that I'm not tempted to use my finger and get that glue on my finger. The buttons that I have here are just craft buttons, and they do have a very flat back. And these buttons are big, so they're not going to sit flat against that ball. So what I'm going to need to do is put the glue on the button, not the ball. If you use small buttons and put the button on, that whole surface is touching the ball. So I could put the glue on the ball. So you figure we have this round shape and then I'm putting something flat on it. So not all of that surface will need to be covered with glue. So depending on the buttons that you use will depend on where you're going to put your glue. So in this case, I'm just going to put it a little bit in the center. I do have just a standard old glue gun, which looks like I need a new one. And I'm just going to put the glue where I know that surface is going to hit. Place it on, and then I use this thimble to hold it on just for a second. And now I know it's going to dry. And I haven't burnt myself. Having that ball on that bowl means I'm going to be able to just turn it as I need to. And this thimble really is a wonderful thing to use with the hot glue gun. Let me put some big buttons on and then I'll show you some little tricks for these little buttons. So I have all of those big fun buttons put on. And while I'm here, I will secure this little hanging string. And I'm going to change that string to something a lot prettier. To add on small buttons, it's very hard to pick these up, put glue on the buttons, and then put them on the ball, well, without dropping them or getting burnt. So I use a very large pin, like a corsage pin. And I'm going to put that button right on that pin, hold it. Then because that button surface is small enough, I'm going to put the glue on the ball. Just a little dot. And then this pin, I can place it right on where that glue is. The button will go directly in that area. Then push it down. So I'm going to make sure that that button is on that large pin first. Put that little glue dot on the ball. Then the pin can go right in the position that I want. and you drop that button and push it down. You can also use tweezers. Put the glue in the area, and then with the tweezers, place it down. So now I'm going to add on some small buttons. Now that we have all those buttons on, you might find some little wax threads. You can take off a lot of them with your hand, and then just take a blow dryer for your hair and blow dry it, and a lot of the threads will just melt right on or get blown off. But we now have a new decoration from an old decoration, and it definitely has a lot more personality. So we now have one button ball complete. This is definitely a way to use up some of those old plastic decorations that maybe have seen better days. And it's a way that we can use up some old buttons or buy some craft buttons. If you like buttons, ball buttons are definitely fun to do. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe and come on back. Let's see what we're working on next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.